I think the definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. It's not something that lives and dies with one person. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever. And I think that's our challenge as people, is to figure out how our story can impact others and motivate them in a way to create their own greatness.
Welcome to the Welcome to the 3-on-3 podcast. That's right. You're tuned into the number one basketball show in the universe. I'm joined with my amigos, my compadres, my guys. I got Evan here, my boy Luz with me, and we have the Pod Mamba who is in the background producing us to be that number one basketball podcast. We have a great show in store for you guys today. It's a show about making history. A lot of history was made in the NBA this past week. So we're going to dive into the record books and discuss whether you're okay with what happened and what side of history are you on? Where are you at with this history making season that we've had thus far? It's been a crazy week. So I'm not even going to tease you guys. Let's just jump right into it. Mr. 83 Bam Adebayo. This past week, he played against as Washington Wizards. And sorry, I have
You
no
have to
shot.
you have to address it properly. You mean Aja Wilson's man's
Yeah, I'm sorry.
scored 83.
Asia's man, Mr. Wilson, dropped 83 points, solidifying his spot as the highest scoring basketball player in his household. But the second
Yo.
the second highest scoring points in a game ever in NBA history, second behind Will Chamberlain's 100-point game, and now has surpassed Kobe's 81-point game. Now, there's been a lot of controversy and a lot of hoopla, which is a word I love to use on here, about how he did it and the ethics behind it and who how the Wizards should have played. We're gonna jump right into that. I'm gonna go into Ev first. So Ev, what are your thoughts, man? As somebody who's been following the Washington Wizards and probably was watching this, what are your thoughts on Bam being Mr. 83?
Well, first off, we're gonna hold off on stressing my affinity on the Wizards for a little while. We're gonna put that out of what I saw last week. We're gonna put that in the TBD section. But
Okay.
I know the the normal rhythm of this show, since we got our on court chemistry down pat, is you toss the rock to me and I cook for a little bit. I'm actually going to pass it back to you, Mr. Lordor, for a second, because you've stressed your affinity or lack of affinity for Mr. Bam Adebayo, and his skill set, so to speak. So
yes.
I do believe with the after the events of last week, the fans want to know what you think first, sir.
Oh yeah.
Does it take to get to 80? Sorry.
Yeah. If you watch the if you do watch the highlights and watch the game, it wasn't a post move masterclass at all. It wasn't drop stepping, none of that. That's not his forte. Mid rangers. He wasn't a post getting rebounds, shooting threes. Honestly, I was shocked. So I was watching the other game and I think was it the Celtics Spurs game? If I'm
Celtics
not mistaken.
Spurs, as was 80% of the country.
Exactly. It was an exciting game of riveting. And it wasn't until I got the alert that number one, he did 30 points in a quarter. And I was like, oh, wow. And we put that in the chat. And it was interesting because in the comments, somebody said he'll end up with 35 points at the end of the game. And those were my sentiments. Like after he did 30 that first quarter, I was like, oh, all right, he's gonna finish with 35, 40 points as Bam does, right? Like that's and it was a Washington Wizards, they're not playing for anything. They're really just trying to up their draft percentage. So, it's gonna be a regular game, and everybody's gonna marvel at him dropping 30 right in the first quarter. That's gonna be the headline. But man, once it started to excel and go, I'm like, what is happening? Why? What's going on, essentially? And to shorten my segment of it, I was shocked it was Bam, just because I didn't expect that from him. Now, don't get me wrong, I give him a lot of flack for his lack of post presence, but he's still a skilled NBA player at the end of the day. Um, but when I started to kind of watch and switch, and when the network actually forced me to switch from watching it on my phone to watching it on the TV, they didn't give me a choice. I started to see, okay, he was just having one of those nights where, we who've played the game, when you're on, and there's nobody in the world who can stop you. So yeah, those are my initial thoughts. I'll share more later. I want to leave some meat on the bone for you guys, but to answer your point, as somebody who's not been a big fan of Bam and been critical of him, I was shocked that it was him. You could have named, I don't know, you could have gave me a million guesses, and I would not have called out Bam. So, but back to you, brother. What are your thoughts, man? What do you feel about this?
So what's funny is you said what you said about when you saw he had 30. I think he had 45 at halftime, right? Or something around that. And even at that point, like in all sincerity, I had this same thought. I was like, oh, Bam might go for 60 tonight. And I didn't think anything else about the game until I saw he had like 67 in the third. And I was like, okay, I need to go change this, right? And so my thoughts on it in part are that my reaction to seeing him close to 67 is why I'm glad he went for 83. It's one of those things, when you have a unique night like that and everything is rolling and everything's cooking and you get that amount of points. His career high, I think, was 41 up to that point. He's not gonna get this again. He's not gonna get this opportunity again, right? And on a random regular season night where the perfect setup, you got a team that's not playing for something, you got, all your other players are out, right? Powell didn't play, Hero didn't play, right? You the sole offense anyway. Like once you get to that point, I mean, everybody knows 81, in modern NBA is one of those numbers that it's like, hey, if you close to it, you kind of got to go for it. So I'm not mad at all that he went for it. I think if Kobe would have had a chance to tell him to go for it or not, Kobe would have called him some curse words if he didn't go for it. So I mean, from my standpoint, right. So, and the crowd was loving it. His team was loving it. Everybody that was involved with it that wasn't in the Wizards uniform seemed to be loving it. So,
here we go.
Don't speak for my goat.
I'm about to say you done mentioned Kobe, so you
don't speak for him.
I will say
that's charade.
I think that's part of why he's catching the flag. I think if he had scored 80, this would not even be a conversation. They
were gonna take him out at 81, and then Spoelstra was a fucking bitch ass pussy and said, "Nah, stay in there."
Man. Shots fired. Jeez.
And here we are.
So. Let me say
why
this.
You let me rile him up first? I try to come in smooth,
I'll say this. Two things I think are happening here. Number one, Kobe's legacy is not to be messed with, right?
That's really it.
That's number one. Kobe is the NBA's golden child, and his legacy, will not be tarnished, and he will be defended heavily. And I don't think that's even in question here with Bam passing Kobe on this list, right? People don't realize we here have no connection to Wilt's 100-point game. Nobody here listening right now saw Wilt play. Yep. Nobody has that connection, right? Nobody has that visual. We didn't grow up with Wilt on our posters hanging up in our bedrooms. That's not who it was.
Man,
it was Jordan. It was Kobe.
Everyone was talking about how they would foul for Wilt to get to 100. All of a sudden, everyone has the details on this 100-point game.
No,
it
facts,
is funny
right?
How the stories come out, right?
But the stories come out, and I'll say this: my only disdain about Bam is just like since we are in a generation who saw Kobe's game, it's one of those things where in our lifetime we know where we were at when it happened, right? Like as fans of the game, it's something that's like a historical monumental moment for us. This was not as monumental compared to Kobe's because that was a highly contested game. They were down.
Yes,
Kobe
exactly.
was fighting for his life as a
Exactly.
team to win
Eh,
that game. It was such a culmination of everything basketball in the sense of competitiveness,
Yep.
drive, killer instinct. It,
Mhm,
it was just such a perfect Kobe moment, right?
mhm.
That to have somebody pass his record and not give us that same moment, I think left a lot of us feeling like we were
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah. Yep.
If
It was,
if it, because that moment, because
No,
think about it, how much more would that record have been in lore if it was a highly contested game? Like you said, heroes out, everybody's out. The Wizards are gunning for you. You're down by, you get what I'm saying? Like you're down by so
they were
much. Like
never
it
down.
adds
They're
more
up 30, fouling
excitement
the other
to it.
team. Bam
I
That's
think
what I'm
fouled,
saying.
it's
They were
begging for
never down.
fouls.
Yeah, I understand it. No, what Hunter's saying is perfectly is exactly summing up how everybody feels. As I would say oftentimes with whether it's Devin Booker or Cat, these guys that will score these great amount of points and end up in the loss. It's just an empty stat. That's what it feels like for folks. It's like you scored 83, and then also when you look at the fact that over half your points came from the free throw line, it's weird. It feels really weird. You
He
know
was
what I mean?
clanking threes in fourth quarter, like
Just 7
bad.
for 22 from 3. So it's just like it was like, okay, are you going for this? Like what's the motivation behind it? It didn't feel like it was rooted in basketball, in the sport, and really just, I mean, getting my team to win it. I put the team on my back, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
it
I
wasn't
willed us into this win. It
it
was
wasn't
I had
rooted
the
in the
chance
game.
and they just kept feeding me the ball. And you know what? How many points can I score? Because if he could have had the opportunity for 100, if he could have done 102, he would have did it.
Listen,
and you
I'm
should have.
go ahead, Ev. No, and
No,
I
I was
agree.
gonna.
Like
Yeah,
There's only so much the
I
rest could help
agree.
him. All right.
You said what?
So there's only so much the rest could help him. He couldn't get to 100.
No. But let's be real though. Also, if we're going to be in that vein, at what point do we point the finger at the Washington Wizards? Because
Absolutely.
everybody here has been on the court, and there's a point where we've been in some games where we're on the wrong side of a blowout, and it gets to the point where now you're fighting for respect. Like you're not about to, like,
Like,
we get it. Everybody has nights where we're off and somebody's
yeah.
on, but there's a certain point where, hey yo, like stop playing
I'm
in
a
my face.
professional just like you. Come on.
Like yeah, like hey yo son, like relax, like there's no way. So I feel like we as much as people give Bam flack for going for the record, which I'm okay with him going for it. Go for it. Your name's gonna be in history, etched in history. Do that, sir. Right? But at what point do we look at the Washington Wizards like, hey yo, you started triple teaming him too late? Like you
okay.
gotta come
Hold
on,
on.
man. Like, at what point do the Wizards like man up and stop this man? How you?
So I think the triple team actually makes it worse than it makes it better. And here's my point. Again, he has 67 through 3. So I mean, he was on his way in the confines of original basketball. What the triple team did, they fouled him more, and he got like his last like 10 points basically from the line. They would have been better off staying in the standard defense, right? Shading the double his way. And if he beats his man and cooks and he gets it. It's in the confines of basketball. I think the triple team is what made it start looking like it wasn't real basketball anymore. And if
I
anything, I may have had more issue with that than had he got it actually having to take his man off the dribble, hit a 3 over a contested person like he had been doing to get to it.
here's
By the way,
here's
he
where
had
I disagree.
62 after 3, not 67. He had
62,
67.
my bad.
Yeah, sorry, he had
Here's
62 after 3. Yeah. He didn't have 67.
Here's where I disagree with you, Ev. That to me shows how the Wizards still have room to grow, because you can't tell me you guys don't know how to deny the ball. What did I just watch yesterday in the Denver Lakers game when they were denying Jokic the ball, when they were denying Luka the ball at certain points? You mean to tell me y'all don't know how to deny the ball without fouling? Now, I'll say this. Clearly they didn't. That's what I'm saying. Clearly they didn't. So, like, I can't let them skate. Like, yo, you're a professional, bro. Like, you're a baller. Like, you're seeing the same stats everybody else is seeing in this. After this man dropped those points, bro, it should have been like, there should have been a timeout. Coach should have said, hey, yo, he's trying to go for Kobe. He needs to not pass 75 or whatever like goal line you want to put on it, or your jobs are on the line. Like, he needs to, because this is not going to happen on our franchise. He could do it against another team. It's not going to be be ours. Like, we're not going to be on the other side of this in history. Like, when does that happen?
Yeah, because
like,
look,
when does that happen?
Little 5'6" Yuki was doing his hardest to deny LeBron the ball. So you can't tell me that another one of these guys on the Wizards couldn't do the same in terms of Bam. I think another aspect of it as to why folks will put an asterisk on this 83. Talk about Wilt, talk about Kobe. You talk about Hall of Fame guys.
Let him cook.
Nobody's going to sit and say that Bam is a Hall of Fame guy. You know what I mean? So it's another thing to be like, you look at people doing these feats as who goes down in history, some of the greatest players ever. Nobody's going to be talking about Bam as going down one of the greatest players ever. Like, Bam probably will never whiff the Hall. So it's going to be like
solid. It's going to be like Kenyon Martin getting 83.
Well, I just want to point out
Kenyon
that
was solid, man. Relax. You got to relax on that one.
I would even go with that because
I
put Kenyon up against Bam any day.
Listen, give me Kenyon.
It's like a Mika Okafor getting 83.
Hey, Mart, yo.
Okay, now you're getting there. Okay.
I just want to point out that the roster that Bam was playing with the other night, essentially that was Kobe's roster for the entire season the year he got 81. So his whole season was designed to get as many points as possible, which is why I think that was his season with the highest.
This one I'm gonna stop you. No, Ev, no, you tripping. Kobe is gonna go get the most points at any point in time. Doesn't matter what the roster is. Guy, let's be clear. You know what I mean, his roster is not designed for him to get 81. Like, that's just Kobe in general. This the guy that's gonna go get your points and score for as much as he can for you to win.
Spoelstra literally admitted manufacturing this 83-point game. Their whole game plan was just to give him the ball. He didn't care about anything else. He said, "Oh,
those are not words that Eric Spoelstra
Yes, it was. Go listen to his presser. Go listen to what he said the day after on the back-to-back game. Go listen to what he said.
Bam, we have our other players out. We're playing the Heat. Take this game seriously and lead the team.
Playing Washington.
Yeah, you can't read between the lines?
The inference is there, Evan.
He's literally telling you, like, he did. I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah, I just want to know, because them shirts came out very quickly. Who designed them shirts?
Listen, man. Wilt.
With the emojis. Yeah.
Beam. Right.
That was easy. Mambo. They had the snake for Mambo. But I was like, who
those shirts are fire. I'm not gonna lie. Those shirts are fire.
It is kind of fire, but it's solidarity for the Mambo himself. I can't do it.
Why was Asia in the press conference with Bam up there after the thing?
Because she's a multi-time WNBA MVP.
When have we ever seen someone else's significant other go up there during the press conference?
Man, she's more
we use the word significant too loosely. That's why she was significant.
She's more decorated in the sport than he is. Like, come on, man. Like,
you don't think she was motivation for him to get 80? What you mean?
No, he's a
she has to go score.
So is the Heat. I never want to hear about Heat culture again for allowing
this
man to fucking
Heat culture
go for
right
83,
there. Okay,
up 30 plus. I never want to hear it.
That's the definition of Heat culture.
You
got a chance to go. You got a chance to surpass
They're a shameless
Kobe's
motherfuckers.
81.
That's what they're.
You go get
shameless. That's
Also,
the Heat
hey,
culture,
people
shamelessness.
have-
What do you think Udonis Haslam would have said when he got to 81?
What has he said anything?
oh my
Has he
gosh,
said
if
anything
Udonis Haslam,
on Prime?
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah. He FaceTime Bam that night on Prime. Giving him his
flowers,
Hey,
flowers.
good job fouling the Wizards up 32 in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
Good job.
And let me just say,
Good job throwing your body
someone
into a triple team so you get fouled.
as someone who has picked on Heat crowds for a long time and their ability to show up close to halftime and et cetera, I've been a critic of Miami Heat crowds. That's one of the best Heat crowds I've seen in years.
The fair weather fans.
So they a lot of people paid for a Wizards ticket that night. I was surprised the number of people that were even in the stadium to see that game. And for those who did it, they got a treat that night. So I'm happy for them.
If we're honest, it was probably their cheap game of the week or month. You get what I'm saying? Like, so they were trying to get in on a basketball game for the season before, prices start to go up and things of that nature. So I'm with you on that one. When I was looking at the crowd, I was like, at a Wizards game? But
Right.
okay, cool. I mean, it's Miami. I guess, Shout out to that. But all right, fellas. Let's move on. So Bam is etched in history, but somebody else also made history as well. Not as controversial, but another Wilt record was broken, and this is by SGA. So he broke Wilt's record for 20 points per game streak. So there's been some debate in the dated NBA culture about where does SGA stand currently in terms of guards. Is he already up there? Should we ascend him up there as, top 5 guards, and or are we too soon? I'll start with you, Lou, as somebody who is a fan of SGA. What are your thoughts about him breaking this streak? And is it premature to put him up there as one of the best guards in the NBA, or, does he still have something to prove?
Well, I will say I know you mentioned people have less things to say about him breaking that record unless you're talking to the Pod Mamba. And he will probably say he got most of those from being a free throw merchant.
Yes.
Which, but I think SGA. I wouldn't go as far as to say he's when we look at top 5 of all time. I think if he continues down this path, his resume may get him to do so. But I think he still has a couple more things to accomplish, because when you think of top 5 of all time, both impact and actually their accomplishments in the game, are you putting him above D Wade? Are you say that he should be, in the same conversation as D Wade, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson? If you want to reach back, Jerry West. At what point, do you say, okay, he's reached that echelon? I think he still has a little bit more work to do, but I think that what he's doing is definitely making a case. I think that it can be a conversation for sure, a top 10 of all time, based on currently how he's tracking. So, especially if he's able to get another championship under the belt, to be somebody that is have been consistently in MVP conversations, getting one as well. Like he's definitely. I think he's on the bubble, right? Where there's a couple more notches if he's able to get those. We talk about him as the top 5 of all time, but right now for sure he's in. If you were to say, I have 10 for sure, 10 other shooting guards that I'll put above him, I would disagree. So, but he's definitely moving up in the ranks, and he's still fairly early in his career. So I think that let's see how the next 5 years transpire for him. And if he continues down this trajectory, he's definitely would be one of those we will talk about top 5 and maybe even potentially be able to crack the top 3 conversation. So,
Okay. What about you, Ev? What are your thoughts on SGA's ranking and his performance thus far in his career?
So first, I'll start just by saying, in the immediate, to score 20 straight points for that number of games, clearly it's the most consecutive of all time. That in itself is an amazing streak. Shows the consistency, of his craft and
Mhm.
work he's put into it. And it's not just the 20 points, it's a number of times he's cracked 30 points in that streak, right? Almost half the time they've been 30-point games. He's got
Right.
40s and 50s in there. He is a scoring machine. And so for this phase that he's in, it's certainly incredible. You look at where he's at right now, first team All NBA the past 3 years. He'll be it for the fourth this year. Probably the leader for MVP at this point. So, if at the end of this year we're talking a two-time MVP, four-time first team All NBA, at least one-time NBA champion, like, for a phase, that's a pretty solid
Yeah, that's a
run.
solid run.
Right. So you could definitely say he's he's the top of the 20s, right? He's the top of this current decade. You look at the previous decade, you talk about James Harden and Steph Curry, right? Whether you shooting guard, point guard,
I'm
whatever.
about to say no,
We're
no,
not
not
doing
like
it. We're not
that.
doing it. Just guard. But
Uh,
they were the top
It's
two
guard.
guards, I would say,
It's
of the
guard.
decade,
It's
right?
guard.
They're the top two guards of the decade. You look at the 2010s really, the 2000s. That's your Kobe, T Mac, AI, and D Wade, right? Jordan ran the 90s, and then before then, yeah, your Jerry West and sprinkle of George Gervin in there.
No
And
Magic.
Magic,
are
point
we?
guard, we're not doing it. I'm not doing it, right? But I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Jeez.
I'm with you.
Uh,
I'm with you.
subtract Magic, insert Clyde.
So let's do it. Let's do it for a sec. So
Former Blazer. I'm with that.
Clyde is to me, and I looked at him, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong. When I look at Kobe and T Mac, I feel like that's what Clyde and Jordan could have been,
About
but
to say,
Jordan took Clyde's soul,
if
right?
you can bring
And
up T
so,
Mac,
right,
Clyde is
right.
yeah.
Right. So that's where Clyde for me falls out, because I feel like Jordan took his soul and he was never the same after that. But Clyde had that consistency with him too, right? I leave it alone because Hans looking at me like, get off Portland right now or I'm gonna have trouble. So I throw all those names out, right? Because it's like, okay, that's about 10 to 12
Yo,
right
just
there.
catching strays here, man.
My
Go
bad,
ahead.
my bad. I throw all those names out because that's like 10 to 12 right there when you talk about really like kind of the entirety of the list that I would consider. Where Shay's at, you look at it as if, like I said, the phase, he's definitely running this phase. Now it turns into how long is he going to carry it, right? If we're looking at 4 to 5 more years of Shay like this, it becomes, it's one of them things tough to argue at that point, right? So really it's him against time right now, because what he's doing right now and his ability to score at will, it brings back those thoughts of those great guards of his archetype of the past.
Yeah. It's
I'll
like
say
this.
this. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Fam.
No, go ahead.
No, I was saying that it's similar to the discussion that was had about Joker for a while, right? Where does it can he fall as one of the greatest centers of all time based on what he was doing for his time, and then based on the consistency of work for the time he's been able to do it, it's like it's undeniable. So if he's able to follow in that same type of trajectory, is definitely going to be in that conversation for sure.
Yeah, I honestly agree with all the sentiments shared. I've actually been more impressed with Shea this season than last, just because I think his level up on this season is he's more of a killer this season. He's more of a, I guess I would say Mamba. He has more of the Mamba mentality. What Jason Tatum wants to be, he's it
Or Devin
because
Booker.
the amount of games where they were close, and I'm thinking specifically about this past Denver game, where he just came in and said, "No, this is me. I got it." I I'm telling you, I was like, "Yo, he's it," because he doesn't come off as that braggadocious as well either, and that's what's kind of like troubling with Shea because his off the court personality is kind of like chill, like, "Hey, I'm all about the team. Let's do interviews together," whatever. Well, when you watch him closely, like on the court, no, he's that guy. Like he's like, no, we're ending this game. I'm ending this game. We're not not doing for the tie. We're going for the win, and I'm winning this game. And to do that against a team who is arguably your biggest rival, Denver, right? We said it last podcast. It's really has been Denver and OKC, right? That's been a litmus test. And Denver pushed them to game 7, last year in the playoffs. So for him to seize that moment and let them know, no, 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 they're chasing us, not the other way around. It just shows like where his head is at in the game and how he's progressing. And I agree with you. If this keeps up, bro, I think we're gonna have to put him up there with the D Wades and the James Harden. Now, of course, it's rare air when you start to talk about Jordan and Kobe. But if he's putting up numbers like this and going like that, we may have to, I'm sorry, put D Wade to the side and put Shea up there. Like he's that guy. He's that man. But I will say this year, I've been impressed. I was actually a little skeptical because one, he had injuries, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if he's going to be in this MVP run. And we saw Jaylen Brown coming up doing his thing. Wemby's in the MVP conversation now, so I thought that Shea wasn't going to have it in him, but clearly I was wrong. This man is letting everybody know that no, he's here to stay, and he's essentially going to be the face of the league as far as guards go for quite a while.
There's a certain cold-bloodedness to it that you gravitate towards, right? And so that's where the Kobe comparisons and the Jordan comparisons really creep in, right? It's that surgical cold-bloodedness, especially when the game is close, right? Especially when, a lot of players make buckets, right? And Lou,
Like Devin Booker.
right, affectionately, the Devin Bag of Chips, right? There's a lot of folks that make those empty buckets, but who can consistently make those emotional buckets, right? The buckets that end the other team's run, the buckets that seal off your team's run, right? The buckets that put the game out of reach, and who feels like oh man, when we're in that moment, this person's gonna step up. Not only are they gonna shoot it, they're gonna make it, right? And put your team's heart out. And Shea just does it so surgically, and to give Power Mamba some ammunition as well. Whether he does it with a shot or he creates free throw opportunities for himself. He knows how to accumulate at the most pivotal times to put your team out of reach.
I have a question. What's more frustrating if you're a basketball player on the court? Which one is more frustrating? Getting cooked by a guy who has that Kobe jerk killer mentality, who's talking trash, who's just a jerk, or getting cooked by a guy who's just happy-go-lucky, living his best life, It's not like, which one is worse? Like, I know they're both worse because you don't want to get cooked, but which one is worse? Yeah,
getting cooked by somebody who, I'll put it like this. Kevin Garnett, as we know, is one of the poster boys for trash talkers, and he loved the back and forth, right? And he talks about how, Tim Duncan wouldn't even give him that. You know what I mean? So he go back and forth with him, and Tim would be like, "Oh, good job, good try." You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm definitely mad. I'm getting more cooked by the guy who doesn't really want to talk, but it's really he's giving me 30, real relaxed. If I can engage in them back and forth, I'm talking trash. They talking trash. I have some motivation, and they give me buckets. I at least walk away like, all right, man. It feels like it was, it was more a heartfelt back and forth. Maybe I got into their skin a little bit, and vice versa. But if somebody just giving me a calm 40, and then and then walking off, barely look like they sweating. You know what I mean? Hey, they're not even trying to really talk in the interview. Their teammates are just bigging them up in the interview.
Yeah. They don't.
I'm looking from across the side in the tunnel, like, I wish I would catch him in the parking lot. I'm
Normal
tight
day at the office, man. He just,
I'm tight. Yeah, no. I'm for sure more upset.
I don't know definitively my answer to that, but I do know at least if somebody's talking trash to you, it gets you going, right? Because if they make one mistake, you can say something back, right? If somebody is just surgically like cooking you and unfazed by your existence, especially if you're somebody that talks, right? Now it's like not if I talk and somebody's surgically cooking me and not talking, he's making me be quiet, right? It's like I want to say something. So not only are you beating me on the court, you're shutting my mouth. That's probably a dual-sided like embarrassment. Like I'd rather you say something to me so I can at least say a curse word back to you, right? Say something like give something back to you that's not basketball related,
Yeah.
right?
You
Right.
got to get on the board some way, somehow, right?
Yeah.
Whether it
Right,
be
right. You're not even letting me get on the board. I gotta
At
suffer in
all.
silence.
Yeah,
right.
that's
Yeah.
exactly it.
Yeah, yeah.
Know what I mean? And then you got to go back to your team and then like, damn, son, he cooks you. Everybody like, whoa, hey, damn, bro. Like, hey, you like, shut up. But it also points to something that if you remember his team, what Jalen said about him. He knows the right spots to get to. He always gets to the spot. Always know exactly where to move to get to be able to get that bucket. And he's not afraid of the mid range, right? He's not out here trying to chuck threes back and forth. He's gonna hit you exactly how he needs to hit you to get on the board consistently, man. And it's a testament, man, for him. If I don't see him slowing down, you know what I mean? But I don't want to speak too soon.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up because like the mid range is the key to being a high level scorer, right? And I think that's one of the issues with the game. I think we're coming out of that, but I think we had like a 7 to 10 year period where that's what really kind of messed up the game of basketball, right?
So you're blaming Curry. Got it.
I'm not blaming Curry.
Honestly,
Got it.
I was gonna say this is why I did bring up Harden.
Alright.
For me, I already have Shea Gillett over Harden because of the style of play. But
I think they weaponized the wave, right? Like mid-range basketball got phased out because of inefficiency. They weaponized the three-point shot in two different ways, right? And so what they did was they amplified what was already a bad practice, right? So they tell, okay, if we just doing dunks and threes, this is how you do it at a high level. And now everybody's trying to chase that high level and not doing it well, right? But when you look at it, though, the majority of players that still give you 25, 30 a game, they still maximize that mid-range area. And if you're efficient at that, that's where you eat at. And so to me, is beautiful. And you know who else is like that? And we don't talk about him well in good terms enough because he's hurt all the time. But Kawhi is exactly like that as well.
Very much.
Mid-range assassin, surgical.
Bro.
I'm getting to my spot.
Yes.
I'm shooting from this spot,
Oh
and
my
I'm hitting
gosh.
from this spot, and that's it.
Bank
You're
shot,
100%.
whatever it needs.
Right.
I'm
just about to bring up his favorite term, 3-level score.
No, negative. I'm willing to go as far as to say Shea and Kawhi's at his peak were Kobe and Jordan-esque as far as picking their spots.
Yeah.
Like you remember seeing Kobe and Jordan, you knew their spots, the elbows, right? The high post. When they were going to their spots and playing for that, there's nothing you can do. You were just watching essentially, right? They knew their spots, they knew what they were gonna do, and you're just hoping for a miss. Kawhi at his peak and Shea right now, when Shea's getting into his mid-range spot and he picks it, there's really nothing you can do. Like, I'll say this. As far as picking his spot, Shea is up there as far as like Jordan and Kobe to me because he does it it's a masterclass level performance as far as he does. But I will say about the 3-level score, as you guys like to put it, what makes them dangerous is even if you go back to Kobe and you go back to Jordan, they at least were proficient in the 3-point because now you're you can't push them out, right? Because they can hit that three. So now your defensive stance has to open up a little bit because you have to account
Can't
for
stack with them at all.
you have to account for different things, and that to me is even better because Shea has shown you, nah, okay, you want me out here, I can do that too. So how do you want it essentially,
Yeah.
right? Like, how do you want it? So I
Right.
just love that. Oh, here he goes.
I'd like Shea more if he wasn't such a foul baiter.
We know.
Like
We
he's
know.
shameless about it. Like Bam 83 point esque about it.
Oh
You know?
my God!
Oh
Come on, don't do that, man.
So let's
Come on.
do this. I know.
No, we're out of time.
Hijack. Oh no!
Yeah,
This is a good one. This is a good
6
one.
minutes, 6 seconds. Sorry, go
All
ahead,
right.
real quick.
I don't know if I can get in this quick. All right. Okay. I'll say it this way. Jaylen Brown brings up his point about foul baiting, right? Y'all think we're gonna see a change in what we've seen?
I think so. I think they're gonna legislate more of the push off because as much as I like Shea, some of the push off is a little like, hey, yo, come on, man, like we got to call that an offensive foul at some point. Some of the push off is a little egregious, but I mean, Luka does it. It's not just Shea is what I'm saying is. So I think it's going to be legislated in maybe 1 or 2 years because it is becoming more egregious. Like, come on, man.
It's not even just a push off. It's the fact that he throws himself into defenders. Like defenders have no space to do. They don't have any area for themselves anymore.
Him and Luka.
Shea just throwing himself at defenders and throwing his head back and just flailing his arms, and he's getting these calls. That's what infuriates people like Jaylen Brown.
It's just
But
reminiscent.
Luka does it too,
Reggie.
Christian. I just want to put that out there. Remember,
I mean, he's bad at it too, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't to some degree. I can't respect players who do that shit. At least pump fake and get defenders to jump up and throw yourself into someone.
I'll say this: was D Wade's? Was it? Because remember D Wade's, right? He towards the end of his career, his pump fake and how he jump into player. Is it that egregious for you? Where they even had to change the rule?
Because you got the player to jump onto you. So that one there's differences between foul baiting. Like you could get a defender out of position, and then it's like and then there's the shade type where it's like I'm just gonna drive as fast as I can, go into your body and just like throw my head back.
I think what he's saying is the difference is that D Wade's was a trick, but it wasn't an actual foul. What Shea's doing, that shouldn't even be called a foul.
Yeah.
He's trying to trick the ref as opposed to Wade and Kobe who really try to get defenders out of position.
From optics, that's all it is.
Right.
Reggie,
I get it. So tricking the ref versus tricking the player, essentially.
Yep,
That's what you're arguing, Bob Mamba. Okay, fair. All right, guys, let's move on. Our last record-breaking segment for a record-breaking show we have here today. All right, so, man, we've been talking about the Lakers, boy. LeBron James, Christian Gonzalez's favorite player after Kobe,
Why is he using my full government name?
My bad.
The hell's wrong with you?
I didn't mean to dox you like that. LeBron James breaks.
But if you follow him on Twitter, you probably know this anyway. So,
right,
breaks the most career field goals in the NBA. He even has this patch now. I don't know if you guys saw that on his jersey. He was given. Look at Lou rolling. He was given, man. That to me, I was like, hey, if you look at Evan's name, right, and the last part of Evan's name on this podcast for your YouTube, the NBA is just shameless with the LeBron glazing. I'm just going there. It's just shameless. But he has his own little patch, man, for the most field goals, man, in NBA history, man. Give him a little special patch.
Another participation trophy.
No, so this is a twist you guys didn't see coming, and I hate to make it about this petty thing of a patch, but so many other records. Is Bam going to get a patch? Or is it because it's not the number one record? Should there be patches, right, for when you break an all-time record on your jersey? That's what I'm bringing to you guys. I know that's not where you guys are at, but should there be a patch?
They started this patch thing with All-Star, right? where these guys, they were on their jackets, on all their accomplishments. Okay, if you get a patch for your accomplishment on your all-star jersey for, being recognized during that time because it's a special, you know, moment. Oh, this is a jacket for whenever, it's not something that you're gonna be wearing on a regular basis. Whoop de doo. But this, nah, you give him. There's so much that was done before. I don't know. I just feel like we're missing the plot now. It's like, it's like, yo, are you for the at the end of the day, the game is a game. Inevitably, something's gonna get broken. But is this record that significant? You played. You've been playing the game since 18 years old. Is it really that surprising? Is it?
I
Is
mean,
it that surprising? Especially, you clearly he's a Hall of Famer, top player, of all time. So from that level, that caliber, and the fact that somebody that ball dominant, and that, I mean that you're consistently a scorer for since 18 years old.
Hans Dog doesn't
Always
agree.
surprised. Like this
See,
is this.
LeBron topics bring the worst out of everybody. Out of Lou, Hans Dogs, Pop Mamba. It
nobody
just
likes this.
No, but
nobody.
I'm asking somebody: Is it that surprise? Is it that significant that you're like, wow, they really just like how we talked about Kobe's 81 versus Bam's 83. The impact of this, the significance of it, is it really that earth shattering? Where you're like, oh wow, he surpassed or he has the most field goals of all time. Okay,
I'll,
in
I'll say,
context,
I'll say this.
Doug
Since
said, nah.
Hines, right. Since Hines was the question of should there be patches. I'm so over NBA uniforms and all the changes in the past years that I say go all the way with it. There should be personalized patches for whatever you want on there. When it's Mother's Day, you know how baseball they use the pink bats? Put a picture of your mom on the jersey. When you get married or you have a baby, you
Oh
know,
my
put a
gosh.
little commemorative special event. I mean,
Oh,
these teams are already changing sponsors every year on their jerseys, like soccer teams do now. I mean, you got different marketing logos on the court and whatnot. I mean, you got 7 different jerseys, right? Let's just go all the way in it. What if you had a limited edition? All right, I'm gonna get in trouble now. Remember LeBron's mom, there was some controversy, back in the day, right? Imagine if you got a limited edition LeBron James Mother's Day jersey with his mom on the face, right there on the patch. How much you think that would get in the auction?
and what
Only
does that
comes
have
out
to
once
do
a
with the
year.
game?
What does any of this have to do with the game,
What
bro?
does it? No, no, because now that was we talk about,
I'd rather have a
the
Father's Day
product.
jersey of Delonte West.
Boom. Oh, whoa, whoa.
And
You
that
know,
is the end
top
of our
notch
show.
comment.
I said,
Top notch
I,
comment right
I
there, because
said, I
he's
set
your
myself, I
daddy.
said, I set us up for that one.
Well played, Bob, because yo, real talk. Because again, the reason why I brought up the participation trophy era, like that we're in.
I don't. Okay, so here's my take on that. It is that significant to me because not patchworthy. It is that significant of a record to me because yes, he's been in the game since 18 years old, but stop playing. Nobody has been that consistent for that long. And I think that is amazing. So just like Ev was talking about Shea's record for beating Wilt 20, and he did it mostly with 30. You get what I mean? Point games, some 40 and 50, and how amazing of a streak to do it for that long. As much as I'm not a LeBron fan now because he's a Laker, that is amazing to be that great in the league for that long. That's what got you to beat that record, right?
Yeah,
How many players have we seen who, even as great as we've put them above LeBron, they weren't as great for that long? So to me, I think that is a harrowing feat. It should be celebrated. I'm not quite so sure with the patch because to me, that's a slippery slope. where does that end? Are you opening the door, right? For like Ev says, like, oh, I got a patch for it. Does Curry get a patch for most 3-pointers, right? Does, like, where does
It's
it end? Like
now
that's
that's the
my
difference.
take on that.
Those other types of records that were broken, you look at in the period of time in which they did it as compared to the previous record holder, very different. Very different. And I'm not discrediting LeBron's greatness or the consistency he has, but I'm saying it's not surprising enough where this record is, like, him breaking that record is earth shattering. For you to be in the league that long and consistently at that level, like I was saying before, you breaking that record is something that I'm surprised. Like, shouldn't be surprising. I mean, but what is it really speaking towards? It's speaking towards the consistency and how long you've been in the game and so on. Not necessarily that you were able to do this in a significant period of time that made it so much more of a feat than the person who did it prior to. So if you're able to beat the 3-point record in less amount of years, less amount of seasons, with less amount of shots, that to me is more significant than it's like, okay, well, I've been in the game for over 20 years. So yes, eventually, because I've shot so much over this period of time, I ended up being able to get this record. It's more of a record of inevitability rather than something that you went and really done at a significant, record or significant point of time. You know what I mean? At least for me, that's how I view and take him reaching that record.
So you say something that I'll transition slightly, because you say something that you actually turned my opinion on this a little bit. One, I think where I take away from what you're saying is there's a difference in him breaking the points record and him breaking the field goals record. Like the field goals record, that just sounds like a mathematical thing, right? From that standpoint, almost like a nerd thing. No, shout out to the nerds though, right? Where the points record, that feels like something. But I do, stepping back from my Mother's Day, Father's Day patch thing, right? I do think if you break a all-time record like a points record, LeBron should carry a patch as he's the points leader. Steph Curry should carry an all-time 3-point leader, right? They should carry patches for that. It's almost like an icon on NBA 2K, right? If you carry something all time, I think
that's where I was going with it. You beat me too. I was like, are we going like video game level when you reach an emblem?
I think when I thought of it, I kind of saw it. Yeah, and I like it. Now there's some records, right? And so when I was looking this up, there's some records that I'm almost like, I don't know if we'll ever see somebody break those. Like Steph, okay, he's like 800 and something threes in front of James Harden right now. Right. I think Steph's record is great as it is in the era that we're in now. I think Steph's record will be caught at some point, even as he continues to set it. There's definitely a longevity piece to it, right? Because we don't know how many more years we got of Steph. He's going to keep adding to that record. But I think somebody great coming up in this in this era from the beginning, I can see Steph's record being caught. LeBron, I don't know. That one's a tough one with the number of points he puts up. Wilt Chamberlain rebounds, 23,900 rebounds. The closest player from the modern era to get to him was 15,000. That's Tim Duncan. He's like 5th on the list. Wilt's rebounds, I don't know. John Stockton, 15,800 assists. He got 3,300 more than CP, who's number 2. That's another one where we don't have point guards like that. I don't know if that was going to be caught, right? So we're talking about records right now of 2 players actively in Steph and LeBron. It makes me wonder, after them, when will we see somebody in position where they're wearing patches again because they've caught an all-time record? I don't know.
Yeah, and to that effect, like as far as longest records, right there, Ev named it. We have most points in a game, which is Wilt's. Most rebounds in a game, 55, which is Wilt's most career championships, Bill Russell with 11, and then most consecutive games played, 1,192 AC Green. So those are kind of like the biggest long-standing NBA records that are kind of up there. Um, so we'll see what happens with that. But I don't know, like with the patch, I'm kind of mixed feelings about it, just because if you're gonna give him, I feel like there's other great players, out there who should get it as well. It shouldn't just be a LeBron thing. That's my angst with it. If you're gonna put a badge of honor on there commemorating a record that was broken, give it to everybody else who did a record as well too.
Mhm.
Like who though? You say that, but who?
Go give
That's in
AC.
the league.
Go give AC Green his patch.
As much as we glaze
you gonna
Steph
bring him
too
out
as
for a
being,
night. Where's
Go give Steph his patch. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
all these
Steph's in the league
No.
right now.
go call up
give him
John
his patch.
Stockton. Hey, we got a patch for you. You know what I mean?
Don't,
If you're gonna
don't get
give
the NBA.
if you're
Don't
gonna
get the
give
NBA
all
any
the
ideas.
participation trophies out, put them all out. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
to me at this point, it's like comparing, like, okay, who's the valedictorian of the class and who has the perfect attendance record? Are we
You should get a
carrying them all with
patch,
the
man.
same weight? And
They
if
should get a
so,
patch.
nah. If I was able to have better grades than you in less days, man, your perfect attendance means nothing to me. But
I mean,
if at the end of the day, but I mean, I'm being facetious and talking, and comparing them, but in terms of, I think there's grades in terms of when it comes to these records, which are significant. Not to say that, well, yeah, no, I do believe that some carry more weight and more significance than others. You know what I mean?
you know what they should do though? They should treat it like the NBA. Hold on one second, Pop Mama, and put it out there and say, we have these badges or these patches, and these are the ones that are left. Who's gonna get them? Like, and incentivize it if you're gonna do it like
Okay.
that. So
Okay.
you know how you're playing a video game, you have to unlock it. You
Yeah,
have to beat it to unlock it to get it.
Yep.
Are you gonna unlock this, right?
Okay.
And there should be a prize with it too. And then it's forever on your jersey or whatever. Like, put it out there, do it like that. I like that. That's further like, hey, yo, I
I'm
gotta
with
get
that.
that.
Yeah,
I
go
feel
ahead.
like
Say
a
if
lot
we're
of
gonna do
these
that.
records, like the AC Green record or like the LeBron most points scored and most field goals made records are just, it's a lot of luck comes into these things, because like you need to be healthy. You can't have any like long injuries, and then you need to have a career. You need to be one of the best players in the league, and you need to have a career that is that could keep going until I mean, look at LeBron. He's 42 already, 41. So I mean, you have to be really lucky in your career to get these things. Like it's not about skill or anything. Not like Wilt's, 55 rebounds and all that shit. Like that's fucking just dominance. So there's just levels to this. It's like Emmitt Smith getting the most rushing yards. Like he only got it because he was in the league for so long. But no one says like, oh, he's better than Walton Payton.
Man, sometimes your best ability is availability.
I'm just saying, are we now discounting, like, are we not putting value on the durability that he's had? Like is that just supposed to be whimsy now? And I'm not a LeBron fan like that, but
No,
like,
good for him.
God,
But that's luck, dude. That's really just luck.
that's not luck,
Forced
man.
steroids.
That's not luck, man. For the
avoiding
man,
serious injury is luck. That's lucky.
I don't know, man.
LeBron never had an
I don't
ACL
know.
tear ever. Like
Avoiding
if-
serious injury is luck, but still being at the caliber of talent.
Thank
that your
you. That's
name
what I'm
calls on
saying,
the
man.
roster is
Come on,
skill.
man.
But I think I'll say like 80% of it is luck. Because again,
Come
it's
on.
just
Come
Hans,
on,
we've seen
Christian.
players' careers go down the drain after one major injury.
You're 100% right, but at the same time, like, let's
You can't
not
fault
discount
somebody for that. You can't fault somebody for
I'm not
their
faulting
body.
him. I'm just pointing out that the reason why a big reason why LeBron has these records is lucky for not having serious injury and was able to play for a long time.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of players who play for a long time and they are not playing at his caliber. That's what I'm saying. And I don't think to put all of that or most of that on luck or injury is fair to him.
Well,
Now, I just don't think, because if we're okay, look at look at look at Brady, right? Look at Brady. So now people were comparing him similar to LeBron, looking for that cliff, right? For him to go off. And I know we have to go off air, but like at some point we have to acknowledge the skill and consistency in which this man has been great. And for me, I'm not going to discredit the work that they put in for being for having that longevity. So I'm not to discredit the work he put in on his body, taking care of what he needs to taking care of. Lose a health guy, health is wealth. You get what I mean? Like, even though Lou accuses him of using other products, but I just can't discount that. That's all I'm gonna say with that.
To rebuttal
That's
that,
it.
and to leave it at this, an open-ended question for everyone, even our listeners. Don't you think that Peyton Manning probably would have been just as good as Tom Brady, if not better, if he never had that neck injury?
bars.
I don't know. We'll leave it there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. As always, head us up on our social medias, interact with us. Let us know what you think about the show. Check us out on YouTube. I'll see you guys next week. Take care. Peace. What's up, guys? Thank you for listening to the 3on3 podcast. Please be sure to give the episode a thumbs up if you loved it. Hit that subscribe button, and last but not least, hit that bell, so that way you're notified every time we drop a new episode. Hit us up on our social media, guys. You can find us at the 3on3 podcast on IG and Twitter. If you want to give us any ideas or suggestions, shoot us an email at the 3on3podcast@gmail.com. We appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. See you guys next time.